Alright, just did a 3-day, 800-mile road trip in my Honda Civic, and noticed midday of the second day had a pretty low pressure in the back passenger tire. Didn't really see anything there, filled it up that night. Next morning it had dropped about 8 psi, so I knew, probably a nail or something. Got home, pulled the tire, and lo and behold, and sure enough, nasty screw right on the shoulder. Worst spot you could have it. And I've used these plug kits before with good results. In the middle tread, no problem. But obviously anyone's going to say, can't fix this, not worth it, don't try it, and all that. However, nice set of Michelin's, a lot of tread left. So I thought I'd actually try and see what happens. It may work, it may not. So I'll use the plug kit, plug this up, see if it will hold pressure, see how it works. May last a few days, a few weeks, a few months, who knows. I'm just kind of curious because I don't really see a lot online about this or that. And I know people will say, never do it, it's not worth it and all this, but I don't think it's a big deal. I saw a guy on the road trip that I was just on, big, large SUV, completely blew his sidewall, where this whole thing was just gone. He was on the shoulder waiting for a tow truck, so he had a complete tire failure, blowout, and just pulled over. So I definitely would say, with this, I'm not going to put it on the front of the car. It's going to stay on the back, so I will take that caution. But it probably is going to leak a little bit. I don't know. I'm not worried that it's going to have a full blowout. I really don't. On my road trip, I was going, for at least 300 miles with this in there. 70, 75, 100-degree weather. Dirt roads, rural county roads with curves. And it was fine. I couldn't tell a difference with that screw. So that's my plan. I'm not going to do a video on the actual plug. Basically those kits, you just sort of ream it, get it all good, and then put the plug in there. I'll do a video after I've done that, and then we'll do some follow-up videos down the road and see how it handles, mostly out of curiosity. Alright, so I've patched it. So the good news is the screw was pretty tiny, like a toothpick. I mean, this thing must have been rusting on the road for a long time because it's just all worn. There's really no thread even on it. So the hole itself pretty small. One thing that I've noticed, which isn't necessarily great, is there's a small bulge, which I kind of expected. But because of that, if I was going to do this again, and I may have to do this if it leaks a little bit, and I'll yank this plug, was actually just put the plug in straight and not have it where it's the U. It's almost like too big. There's too much material for that tiny bit of hole that was caused. So we'll see what happens. And as I think I already said, this tire is going to definitely stay on the back. I wouldn't put it on the front of the car with the steering. But these tires are engineered pretty well. They take abuse, so I think it might be alright, but I don't know, so we're going to find out. That's mainly my interest. The car does basically a 20-mile commute every day, so it's not high-performance sports car. There's not a huge load on it. It's not doing anything crazy. So that's another reason that I think it's a good little experiment. I mean, ultimately, I may be out $400, $500 to get some new Michelin's. I really like these tires. They were great, all-around tire. So I'd hate to lose them so quick. So we're gonna see what happens, and I'm gonna basically cut this bit off and fill it back up with air since I completely deflated it to put the plug in. Alright, so I actually filled it up with air first. I left these little tails in case it was leaking bad. I could use those with the pliers to yank out the plug, but it's got full PSI, no leak. I didn't think there would be. So at the end of this video, I'll have a link when I do an update video, so you can link to that to see what the situation is, whether it's made it 100 miles with no drop of PSI or maybe only a mile. We'll have to wait and see, but I think it's some good information just to be testing and see how it will behave.